Lie. All right. I think I'm getting a little sick. So, how you guys doing? Run my first giveaway here. It's the 5th. I'm asking you why you're here. Is it for coffee or conspiracy theories? Yeah. I decided white coffee is too strong for me. I can't drink it anymore. It's making me, it's making life difficult. If initially it makes it easier, but it's too strong. I'm gonna try to focus on the coffee. All the complaining, it just attracts bad karma, I think. Wait, I gotta change. Half and half. M- Conspiracy theories are winning. That's ridiculous. All right. What are we doing today? What are we doing today? It's too strong. Yeah, the coffee is too strong for me. I'm too weak for this coffee. This coffee's too strong for me. All right, guys. So let me try to stay focused on the coffee. Every time I start talking about conspiracy theories, I don't sell any coffee. So we gotta focus on the coffee. You're bouncing off the walls. It's really strong. It's really strong, and then I don't sleep as well. I get cranky, and I need more coffee. Oh my god. And then I have nightmares about Sandon. You guys like the white? Everyone likes the white at first, but then, but then after a while, then you find out the truth. All right, what should we do? You couldn't tell. Oh my god, that's not good. You guys are drinking coffee at night now, drinking white coffee in the morning. All right, what should we talk about today? What should we talk about today? I don't know. All right, so coming at you from Hawaii. I should get a better background, see if we can do this. Here. This is the mountains behind me. There we go. There's a nice background there. Just I'm trying to be quiet too because my wife's in the other room, and if she wakes up, the show is over. All right, there's our that our mountain there. Can you see the mountain? There, how's that? I need to drink. It's only 5:30, so she's sleeping. Vegeta, I haven't seen you in a long time. Welcome back. White coffee is coffee that is so light that it's still raw. And the white coffee just gives you this huge buzz. It's got maybe 50% more caffeine, but it's got this other compound in it called trigonylene, um, which is another alkaloid that gives you the buzz in coffee. So those two combined, it's got like probably about 10 times more trigonylene and 50% more caffeine. So those two combined just make it crazy. My wife owns the farm. I don't own anything, and she owns the lease to the farm. So yeah, that's an interesting thing about this coffee is most of the coffee here is grown on leaseholds, and the leases are actually still owned by the last or a trust that was established by the last royal family of Hawaii. So about 1 to 3% of this coffee goes towards um, more and more. I'm the guy that does the marketing, and the heavy lifting is done by this one guy who's Thai. So he's been helping a lot. Uh, I'm really slow without coffee though. See, this is just a terrible cycle. You start drinking coffee and then you can't sleep, and you wake up and you need more coffee. Uh, I'm a conspiracy practitioner. That's right. So if you guys want to start a conspiracy, we can do that. You guys want to start a conspiracy? He's a he's a Thai guy. That's right. You need a tour. You know what? I found these Wi-Fi like beamers that you can take your home Wi-Fi, like little satellite dishes. You could beam them into the field, and then there's like another. So I'm gonna try to set that up, and then I'll be able to get. then I'll be able to get. Then I'll be able to get internet in the field. So that'll be exciting. All right, let's. So if you guys have never had Hawaiian coffee, so we do. This coffee is coming from Hawaii. The farm's back there somewhere up in the mountains. We don't do theories. We're here to practice. The farm is back there in the mountains somewhere, so this coffee has to be grown in a higher elevation. The higher the elevation you get, up to a certain point, the sweeter and denser the beans are. So we're on the big island of Hawaii. Red, white, and blue stain. I like that. I'm a stain. I'm the stain. You like the extra dark? Extra dark will be the weakest. As you roast coffee darker, it, it loses a lot of its potency, but it gains more flavor. It becomes more water soluble. That's why dark roast, exactly, it has more flavor, more of the compounds basically oxidize and become water soluble. So everything that would have given you the buzz becomes um, becomes flavor. No, let's buy coffee from a tired person. I'm really tired. I'm not gonna drink any coffee today. It's too strong. It gives me all I dream about is coffee now, and trying to get enough extra dark roast for Sandon. It's just a mess. It's a total mess. I don't know how much longer we can keep this up. It's a total mess, guys. Make a normal title, but then it's pointless. Then there's nothing. It's not worth it. All right, the giveaway is a 2 ounce Hawaiian coffee. We got some samples here. Our coffee, this is 100% Hawaiian coffee, all grown on the big island of Hawaii, where we have an active volcano. This volcano is constantly replenishing the soil with micronutrients, and that makes our beans here grow larger than beans from anywhere else in the world. Larger beans, fuller in flavor, denser, sweeter, less bitter. The volcano is constantly replenishing the soil with micronutrients, right? So that makes the beans here less bitter. Um, the bitterness in coffee comes from two things, three things actually. It comes from acidity. If you pick a coffee unripe, it'll be like any other unripe fruit. It's going to be sour and it's going to have the tannins in it. So that's the first thing. Then, when you roast acid, it actually becomes bitterness. So a lot of your low acid coffees are actually only low acid because they started out sour and then they will roast the coffee extremely dark and then that makes it low acidity. Our coffee is low acid because of how we pick it. We pick only the overripe beans. We only pick the coffee that's soft and ready to fall off the trees. And because of that, it's like letting a banana or an apple turn brown. The amount of sugars in the coffee have been allowed to develop to a point where it's the dominant, the enzymes just convert all of the starches, all of the acidity into more sugar. So you saw my video there, that was still not, perfectly picked. That's sort of what happened. I hate to say it, that's what happens when I pick the coffee. You still saw that Fuji apple in there. It's still pretty good, but if you get the people much better than me at picking the coffee too, and then it's just all purple, and that's sort of the ideal level of the heartburn. Ouch, that sucks. It gives you. I lost my train. Yeah, heartburn. So, so this coffee will not give you heartburn. It won't give you acid reflux. It won't give you indigestion. I think I'm getting a cold. Alice, what kind of coffee do you usually drink? Waka waka. Everyone's calling me Eddie. That means we've joined the gang. You guys remember Crazy Eddie? I thought I would model my entire marketing campaign after Crazy Eddie. You guys remember Crazy Eddie? Hey Eddie, if you start with the dark, I would suggest you start with the dark coffee then, because if you do a dark or a medium, our coffee is more like a medium. And Tut's Gold, I would use the cocoa tea rather than the nibs. The nibs are hard to. The nibs are actually hard to brew. Okay, I'm gonna do the light on a flash sale here, 22.75 if you want it. Yeah, the white coffee, it has a beanie taste to it, a little bit corn, like a corn, but it's a lot stronger. Good morning, Cleve. How are the kids? It's a lot stronger than regular coffee, maybe 10 times stronger. You can add it to your existing coffee and it gives you a really strong buzz, almost a little bit of a body buzz. I haven't ever seen any blue macaw roosters actually. 2 cups of light. So you guys you're ready for the kids. Use the mortar and a pestle. That's actually a good way to do it. So yeah, so that's our coffee. The biggest thing about this coffee is that it's picked by hand. It's picked by people who are getting paid $30 an hour. or by the owners. A lot of times by the owners or our friends and family. But you get your friends and family to come out, and after a few times, they don't want to come out to Hawaii anymore. It's just too stressful. You come out to Hawaii, you're on the farm, there's just work. You just look at the trees and you stress out because there's work all the time. It's kind of traumatic to pick the coffee. So you almost never see people who picked coffee as kids becoming coffee farmers. It's just you don't want to go anywhere near that. It's just so stressful. It's the worst thing in the world. I wouldn't wish coffee picking on anyone. It's the worst thing in the world. Everyone thinks it's a great idea, but the second you pick the coffee, it's just the worst thing. I don't know, maybe there's something about also the hallucinogens in the skin. Coffee cherry, when you pick it, you'll start tripping out a little bit unless you're wearing gloves. So maybe that's part of it, where the combination of mosquitoes and rain and that whatever the compound is in the coffee, just after a few years of that, you don't want to ever touch coffee again. I don't know if I can. Willow. Yeah, I spent 8 hours with her yesterday. I went to the beach. Willow loves Ross stores, so we go to we go to Ross stores every day. Although we've been going to the library now, so I'm adding that into our routine. So we go to the library for like an hour or two, and I read her a bunch of books, and then we go to Ross stores. But before, we were just going to Ross stores every day. She's like, I just want to go to Ross stores. So this coffee's really good. Yep, she's got 4 pairs of shoes. Kind of funny. All right, so we've got a few grades of coffee in my buy now, and if you want something, ask me for it. I usually will give you a discount unless it's already on flash sale. So we got Peaberry, Hawaiian Dark. We got a little. I don't have that steak coffee. I'm sorry about that. We've got We got a little bit of extra fancy, but not in all the grades. And I think that's all we got. So the Hawaiian grade coffee is the one I start. So there's different grades and different kinds of coffee, but all of this coffee is coming off those same trees that you saw in that video, those same berries. So it's all coming off the same trees. It only gets separated before we roast it. And that's another part of Hawaiian coffee that's, I think, unique, at least for people in the US, is that in the rest of the world, when you export your coffee, you have to shell the coffee before you send it out. Whereas in the US, because this coffee is grown in the US, we shell the coffee as we need it. Usually, what that means is we'll shell it maybe a few weeks. We'll shell a few 100 pounds a few weeks before we need it, and then we roast it as we need it. And then we'll shell another few 100 pounds. Whereas everywhere else, when you export the coffee, when you throw it on a boat, you have to shell it before. And then so all this coffee, they're in Kona right now. I'm gonna miss them. We have a farm, but I'm not there today. Tell them to go to the Sunday market. That's a great place to meet some other local farmers, and you can grab some Kona coffee there. And I might even see them there. I'm gonna head over there, but I'm not giving tours right now because my wife. Blame it on my wife. And so most of the world's coffee gets shelled before a year, or most coffee has to be shelled before it gets exported. A little slow today, guys. And then it's sitting on the boat for like you know a month before it gets to port. Then it has clear customs. It's sitting in the warehouse. So you're talking about 2.5 months before it even reaches the roaster. And then once it hits the roaster, It's gonna be sitting in the roaster's, storage room for anywhere from a few weeks to a year. And in that entire process, the coffee has been shelled. The silver skin on the coffee's probably been peeled off. There's a little layer of skin on the actual seed. And so coffee is a nut. If you guys know about nuts, once you shell the nut, it's gonna start going bad, right? Here's a $1 start, 12-ounce bag of the dark coffee. If you guys want to grab that 12-ounce bag here, $35 retail. Just roasted. This one was just roasted Friday. So also very, very fresh. So on top of it being freshly shelled, it's also freshly roasted. Small 20-pound batches. This dark coffee has a taste of a toasted caramel and dark chocolate. Smooth. There's no bitterness in here. So you really be able to taste those notes. A lot of times when people say there's notes of this, notes of that in the coffee, the bitterness and the sourness just overpower it. But this coffee, you can really taste that toasted caramel. Especially, I've been converted to making it with a coffee maker because it just comes out so sweet. And so this comes out really nice on the coffee maker. This is more like a medium dark. It's not really a dark. It doesn't have the oil on it. So some people, they like to see that oil. They think it's moisture, but it's actually not necessarily good. It means if it has oil on the coffee, it means it was roasted very dark or it's been sitting around for a very long time. So, co- so that, when you first start drinking coffee, you got hooked on the pour over. I think coffee, it's good to keep on changing. We like to change, right? So, and each way of making coffee also makes it come out very, very different. I had some juice, sand, and I did have some apple juice. I should drink some water, but I don't want to put the phone down. I don't want to go out there and wake everyone up. So, looks like you guys are here for the coffee. So we're not no more conspiracy theories, guys. I wonder if coffee is somehow linked to people who like conspiracy theories because it just makes you think. When you think too much and you start to see it all fits together, except for flat Earth and hollow Earth, because it can't be both flat and hollow. There's no way. So that one of them has to go. All right, so dark roast. I'll do some samples too. The dark roast, I think, is the best one to start with. If you've never had, if you don't typically drink specialty coffees, coffee you buy from a roastery, coffee you buy off the internet from a roastery, coffee you buy from Whole Foods, like the special coffee section, right? And you probably want to start with the dark. Even our dark is a little bit lighter, but it has that full, rich, bold flavor of coffee that you guys are used to. Most of the coffee you buy in the stores is roasted very dark, whereas our coffee, not quite as dark. You roast your coffee very dark because you want the coffee to, what's it called? You want the coffee's sourness to get roasted away. If there's any mold in the coffee, if you roast it light, you can taste it. You can taste the mold. And whereas we roast the coffee, we roast the moldy coffee dark, and you don't taste the mold anymore. It got cooked away. So your supermarket coffees tend to be roasted very dark because they're geared towards they have to be shelf stable for up to 18 months. So when you see a Best By date on your coffee that you bought from a commercial brand sitting in your supermarket shelf, let's say it says Best By September 2026. That means it was roasted September 2025. That's why sometimes you drink coffee and it gives you that weird sweet moldy flavor. You ever have that where it's like almost tastes like an old dried strawberry, just something kind of oddly sweet. That's actually moldy coffee. Basically, exactly, yeah. And a cigar. Final boss. So you like it oily and dark and we have so the OG, right? Originally when I roasted the OG, I was like, I'm only gonna roast the OG extra dark because I've seen some people's OG and it's moldy. But this OG was nice. So I don't know what happened, but we sold out of it. But that OG was nice. It was like a nice coffee. So I'm gonna order more of it and I'll let you know if that happens again because that I can do below 20 bucks a pound, which is awesome for you guys. And it's okay for me, but that's like coffee you can just drink at the office every day. And Leanderthal, that's like Neanderthal. Leanderthal, you won. That's like Neanderthal. You can replace your L's and N's. L's, N's, and R's used to be one, the same sound. So Leanderthal could be Neanderthal. Neanderthal. Anyway, I don't know. I have the spaceships, but that's not why. I only got the spaceships because of the power they gave me. It's not the other way around. P's and F's and S were I think that's true. And then P's and F's were also interchangeable. So like fun would be PFUN. Fun is the same sound. So if you switch your L's, R's, and N's and the P's and F's, there's this entire subtext in the English language that's amazing. And it's really funny too. So start doing that. Anytime you see an L, switch it with an R. Anytime you see this P, switch it with an F. And it's ridiculous. Something fun to do if you're bored. All right. And Aaron, again, I know you bought, and anyone who bought the Mac chocolate covered Mac nuts last week, I actually sold more than I had, and I told you I was not going to sell anymore and selling my cost, and I sold more than I have. Now I got to order more. It's going to take me an extra 3 days. That's right. I think ancient ink, yeah. So hopefully that's okay. If it's not, I can refund you. I'm gonna send out your other stuff, right? I owe you 8 ounces in the medium. All right. See, every time we start talking about other things, no one buys the coffee. It just gets distracting. Y- Whether it's because you get turned off by it or you just can't pay attention, no one buys the coffee when we start talking about P's and F's and L's and R's. But this dark roast is just a toasted caramel. It's so sweet. Watch this, God say, people, if you haven't tried it. It's it's really sweet. It's hard to convey how good this coffee is, but I think forget about the taste. Ultimately, it doesn't hurt your stomach, doesn't give you acid reflux, doesn't give you the jitters, like it doesn't give you that coffee crash or coffee anxiety. That happens, when I have a big cup of Starbucks coffee, I know 4 or 5 hours into it, I'm gonna be feeling I don't even know how to describe it. I just feel like I think the best way to describe it is just panic. Panic at how old I am. Panic about all the bad things in life. Like I better call my mom. Because she's getting old. Panic, just panic. I think coffee can cause panic, but this coffee doesn't seem to do that. So that's another. And that's I think there's 3 reasons for that. We don't spray our coffee with any chemical pesticides, and that's one of the things causing your nerve issues. Like if you ever drink coffee and you look at straight lines and it looks like it's vibrating. You guys ever have that? Or if it's just, I don't know if it's just me, but a lot of times I'll drink coffee and if I look at a straight line, it'll start vibrating like this. That's not supposed to happen. That's due to pesticides. Then a lot of times I drink coffee and I'll feel like I ate mushrooms, like magic mushrooms. And that's due to mold, and that gives me a panic. And then coffee that's unripe also makes me feel like, how do I put it? Just like I ate something bad. That gives me that stomach ache panic. Where am I buying that coffee? Well, Starbucks I buy at the airport, right? Anytime I go to the airport, I drink Starbucks. Um, and then the other coffees that we're talking about with the Twitter, usually it's just airport coffee. If I buy I don't really buy just pre-made airport coffee. Not necessarily Starbucks, but if so, it's gonna be. I shouldn't have said their name. I don't want to talk shit about anybody because they're gonna come after me. I'm gonna have people from Starbucks showing up at my farm doing a tasting. So anyway, so that's sort of where a lot of those negative effects of coffee are coming from. It's that underripe coffee. It's coffee that's been sprayed with pesticides, chemical pesticides. We only use naturally occurring soil funguses and soil bacterias on our coffee. So there's just it's probiotics, probiotic coffee. That makes a big difference too. I do have some white coffee, so we'll go from the dark to the white. I even had them in samplers yesterday. Here we go. Let's do some samples if you want. And this is our Hawaiian grade white. I think these will actually be pretty good. When I air roasted the white Hawaiian, I don't know if it was the batch or what it was, but it just it felt like I was still getting a little batch of Hawaiian seems to be not that way. I think when we use a drum roaster, it roasts a little bit different. The white coffee is still raw. I heard about that. I don't know how. I heard those coffee shops got busted. Like some of them got busted for like giving lap dances and stuff. So yeah, let me turn that down. These are really slow. I'm like torturing you guys. One drop at a time. Oh, let's turn the timer down. Let's do it to 7 seconds. So the white coffee, this is gonna give you a buzz. It's gonna make you 10 times stronger than a dark coffee. What is white coffee? White coffee is coffee that's roasted so light that it's still raw. And we got these. Pay attention to this. I'm gonna just keep running these until they keep consistently drop below 4. 4 is what I need to get for them. Once in a while, if they're below 4, I'll keep on running them. But if it drops below 4, I'm probably gonna, slow down on it. The white coffee is roasted so light, only to 350 degrees, whereas the dark coffee is roasted to 450 degrees. So it's a full 100 degrees lighter than your dark coffee. As you roast coffee darker, the active components caramelize into flavor. You lose you lose a bunch of the caffeine. But there's this other alkaloid in coffee called trigonelline. Trogneline. I have videos about that on my YouTube. A lot of it's a super bioactive compound. Today I only have the medium roast in peaberry. I'm out of the medium roast and everything else. So this white coffee is just gonna get you buzzed, like euphoric, buzzed. You drink coffee and you get that little bit of euphoria. Your time just flies by, right? White coffee, you drink it and like you're just focused. Time just flies. It's it's strong. It doesn't taste like coffee, but you feel healthy afterwards. Like your muscles feel stronger. It's just this compound trigonelline is powerful. One thing I can tell you it does is it increases your grip strength. I can tell you the stuff that doesn't have to do with any medical conditions. So it gives you a buzz. It makes you focused. it gives you it improves your grip strength. So it actually goes to your muscles and probably great for climbers, yeah. Great for people who work out, muscle recovery. It's an NAD booster. So NAD you probably heard about. Um, it's a mitochondrial respiration factor and an anti-aging compound that your cells need. And as we get older, our NAD levels drop. I would just be careful, yeah. I wouldn't take it if you're 8 months pregnant. Once the baby comes out, maybe you should try it. So it improves your grip strength. It's an anti-aging. It's good for your skin, and then it's got all sorts of other stuff, but stuff that I can't talk about without putting it into the supplement category. So it's got as you roast coffee darker, as you roast it into your dark roast, about 99.9%. All right, I'm probably only going to do one more of these. 99.9% of the coffee, unless we get it 4 or above, 99.9% of the coffee is roasted away, just gone. Whereas with the white coffee, something like 90% of the trigonolene is still intact. In fact, people are starting, if you look up trigonolene, the people are turning it into a supplement now, and it's being extracted from green coffee or fenugreek. Plus is something people will take shots for, but coffee is actually the best booster of that. So people who drink coffee in studies live longer and they live healthier. And one of the reasons is that NAD plus, I could run a bigger bag. And another reason is it fe- it's got it's got fiber in it. That's the other thing. Coffee's got fiber. It's got as many or more antioxidants as tea and your greenest vegetables. And it feeds this particular gut bacteria called butyric acid fermenting coffee bacteria. And that butyric acid fermenting bacteria actually also goes away as you get older. And once that's gone, your body just starts having trouble eliminating toxins. So the coffee in general is really good for you. Coffee in general will keep healthy bacteria as so if you quit coffee, the only way to get that bacteria is to eat beans. That's why tofu is so good for you. So if you quit coffee, you're gonna have to start eating tofu. Otherwise, you're gonna go. Next thing you know, you're gonna be just a shriveled raisin. So you better either drink your if you're gonna quit your coffee, you better start eating beans. And no, I can't. How many of you guys eat beans? I actually eat beans. I learned to eat beans. You guys eat beans. You're gonna live a long time. But I think most people don't eat beans. Maybe not. It seems like I gotta do a poll. Do you eat beans? All right, so you guys are here for coffee. 44 of you are here for conspiracy theories. You're outvoted. I'm sorry, conspiracy theorists. Just my beans. So if you stop drinking coffee, you're gonna have to start eating beans. That's all I have to say. How do I even how do I how do I get rid of this poll? End poll. All right, so you guys are here for the coffee. Here, I'm gonna do another one. How many of you guys eat beans? Eat beans. Beans are good. Oh, you guys all eat beans. Maybe I'm the one that doesn't eat beans. Oh, wait. Yeah, you guys all eat beans. Well, you guys are healthy people then, huh? Where'd you learn to eat beans? So, well, then you guys don't need to drink coffee. If you guys are eating beans, you guys don't need the coffee. You don't need the coffee. You guys all eat beans. You guys eat beans. All right. Well, then if you guys quit coffee, you're still gonna go on living. But for some of us, for those 6 people that don't eat beans, if you quit your coffee, you're dead. You better keep drinking coffee. I guess I'm not gonna sell the coffee based on you need to eat beans because you guys already eat beans. Refried beans. Ooh, throw some bacon on there. All right, let's like this. So the white coffee gets you going, really gets you going. Trigonylene also becomes something called methylamine when you roast it to 250 degrees. And that's the meth part of methamphetamine. That's why coffee makes you kind of loopy. If you drink a lot of it, you want to call people, you want to talk to people. Music sounds better because it's got actually has methylamine in it. It's not methamphetamine, but it is the hallucinogenic part of methamphetamine that's in coffee. So it's not a ton. There's also some of that in Japanese radishes. Maybe that's why their cartoon is so weird. But it's in coffee. So, and the white coffee has the highest concentration of that. Trigonylate is also methylated niacin, which actually feeds your muscle. Is vitamin B3. So that's our Hawaiian white. Now we do have a light coffee, which still tastes like coffee. So if you want a coffee, if you want like a fruity coffee, a specialty coffee that's fruity, nutty, but still has that nice chocolatey flavor, that like just the coffee flavor, that rich, kind of bold, unique coffee flavor. Then you got to do the light coffee because the white coffee, you barely have any coffee flavor in there. Whereas our light coffee, it's still fruity, but it's got this nuttiness to it. It's like a raisin oatmeal chocolate chip cookie with a little maybe a peanut butter, Reese's peanut butter cup. Aaron Reese, are you related to the Reese's peanut butter cup? I had to ask. All right, let's do I have light samplers here? Let me see. I don't have any light samplers. I'm gonna change the white sampler to a light sampler. So the light roast is roasted about 50 degrees darker than the white. And it's through first crack. Coffee cracks like and pops like popcorn twice. And at each time it pops, it's like this. You can see the roasting temperature level off as the coffee absorbs those temperatures and so or absorbs the heat. And so in chemistry, at the points where, the heat gets absorbed and the temperature kind of stays stable for a while, that's when chemical reactions are happening. Right? So basically you have these two specific temperatures. We call it first crack and second crack when the coffee really starts to the flavor changes because that's where all these chemical reactions happen at that particular temperature. And so the flavor develops and the first crack happens around 400, 390, 400, and so that's our light coffee. And that happens with all food. That's what cooking the food means, right? And so our white coffee is somewhat raw. It's not cooked. um, and the light coffee is cooked to the first cooking level. So you lose. some of the trigonylene, some of the caffeine. Probably, white coffee is maybe 90% of the trigonylene still intact, whereas your light, probably only 10% is left. By the time you get to the dark roast, 99% of it is gone. So light roast still gives you some of that buzz of the white coffee. In fact, originally I formulated the light roast. Originally, Rooster Farms only had a dark, a medium, and a dark. Oh, because you'd be rich if you were related to Reese's Pieces, right? You could just take a private jet. Although, you're probably somewhere related, because by the third generation, there's so many cousins that even if you're related to Reese's Pieces, you would just be a regular person. You wouldn't have any access to that wealth. Maybe you'd be a little bit better off, but not by much. Gets diluted a lot. Like, think about it. Elon Musk, he's got like 100 kids. Each of his kids has 4 kids. That's 400 kids. So those kids aren't. And now if they each have 4 kids, it's 1,600 children. Divide that by a trillion. It's still a lot, but it's not as much. It's not as impressive. I don't know what methylene blue is, McShane. I heard it's something, right? Doesn't JFK Jr. take it? Something good for you, apparently. Maybe it has the methyl group. So methyl, 400 autistic kids. Methyl groups are something your body needs. Yeah, I bet it works. But just like you got to just be careful how much you take. But I don't really know too much about it. I've heard about it, but I've never tried it myself. I'll look into it and get back to you. I am curious about it myself too. So this is the light coffee. This tastes like has a little bit of peanut butter flavor to it, chocolate peanut butter. As you rest the coffee for longer, it um it loses that chocolate flavor, or it loses the peanut butter flavor, and then it becomes more like just a sugar cookie. So you let it light coffee, you can let it ages really well. You let it sit for a month, and it loses the peanut butter flavor, but the sugar comes out a lot for some reason, so it's really nice. The pea berry, so all the flavor profile is similar, almost the same. The pea berry coffee though is more complex. Let's move on to this next one because we're not getting quite high enough for the light roast. Although I do have the light roast on flash sale here, so I'll just flash sale a 12-ounce bag here for 22.75 on the light roast. But yeah, so each of the light, medium, and dark for the pea berry Brit is going to be the same flavor profile as what I've been describing for the Hawaiians. The dark roast is like a toasted caramel, dark chocolate with almost no bitterness. The light roast, Reese's Pieces oatmeal cookie with some raisins. The raisins is where our fruitiness for us. The fruitiness really does taste like raisins. Even leaves like a little raisin aftertaste in your mouth. The pea berry though is fruitier, significantly fruitier. Um, it's also it tastes kind of buttery. It's got more of this buttery flavor to it. And I'll just run the pea berry next. Pea berry is a deformity in the bean where one of the seeds takes over the entire coffee fruit. So usually the coffee fruit has two halves, right? But the pea berry is when one of the halves takes over the whole thing. Usually just because it's happening at the tips of the trees. There's a deficiency. It senses there is not enough nutrition to develop two full beans, so one of them just takes over. Sort of like a husband and a wife. A lot of times one of them just takes over the whole thing. The other one becomes this little sliver. and So the the bean is twice as dense as our regular bean, so it's way denser. So when you get a roast that different shaped, it's shaped differently. It tends to be smaller but more dense, kind of more compact. And so the outside of the bean roasts more. The center of the bean gets roasted less, and that gives you this wider range of flavors. You know, if your regular coffee bean is like this range of flavor in terms of roasting, right? As you roast it, the flavors develop. You get this range of flavors. If your regular coffee bean's like this, your pea berry has like a wider range of flavors because at the center of the bean, it's as if you roasted it lighter, and at the outside of the bean, it's as if you roasted it darker. So the pea berry tends to be more complex in its flavor profile. Um, and I'll start with this light pea berry. I don't know if I have too much of this light pea berry left. I think I need to get more. Yeah. I've been able to consistently get pea berry lately, but pea berry is also the most expensive. Um, it's about 1% of our production. 1 to 3% of the beans come out as pea berry, but then when you go to mill it, you end up, some pea berries are very small, they don't qualify, and then you gotta get rid of the damaged pea berries. So the pea berry is also a Kona grade, which means that in practice it has less than 10% defects, and it has to be above 16 screen coffee. That's one of the grading what's it called? Grading standards is your pea berry is going to have, I mean, your Kona coffee has really high standards for coffee. Like, I think Ethiopian and Colombian coffees only need to be 16 or 11/64, 12/64 of an inch. Hey, Viegas, how you doing? Whereas your Kona has to be 16/64 of an inch. This pea berry sells for $56 for 7 ounces at the gift shop. It is a gift shop, so they've spent everything's a little bit more expensive, but it's actually hard to get pea berry. Unfortunately, it's also very expensive for us to produce. That extra level of filtering out the pea berry and collecting the beans actually takes a long time. The way we filter out the pea berries, we have these different screens, and you basically pour the coffee over the grates, and the coffee the table's shaking so that the coffee like liquefies, it becomes fluidized. That causes the denser beans to drop to the bottom, to the bottom part of the stream, and then the less dense beans goes to the top. So that's when we separate out the grades. The Hawaiian coffee is less dense, that's why it's a lower grade. The pea berry is the most dense, it'll tend to fall to the bottom, and then it drops through these different screens. And so there's a pea berry screen that's very specific to the shape of pea berry, and that's how we separate out our pea berry. So I had to run the pea berry starting at 6. Hey, Iron Sword, you got some questions, Rumpy? I decided I'm not giving America the spaceships for now. No spaceships for you. I gotta stay focused on coffee. It's always gonna be there. So you can feel free to ask any questions as well. What is the grade? Like inspection or guideline. Yeah, you can actually look it up. I'll drop a link later tomorrow or something because I have to turn off the show to get links. But there is the state. So every region has different standards, and you have to look them up by the region. But for Hawaii, it's a state. No spaceships for 1 week. You have to. The state sets the standard. So for us, we have off grade 3X, which is the Hawaiian, prime, number one, fancy, extra fancy. And each of those have their own standards. And the standards are, you know, the screen size, the and I'm just gonna have to keep ticking the peaberry up because like we sell the peaberry on our website for like $90 a pound. So I can't, if people find out you're getting these for like less than 60 bucks a pound. They're gonna get mad. No show notes. I notice I sell more when I have no show notes trim. So I got rid of the show notes. I don't know, maybe it's just there's more mystery. I don't know what it is. So no show notes either. This is just you're flying blind here. We're not a charity. You want the information, you're gonna have to pay for it. Peaberry medium, though, I would say is the best one for espresso. Um, and all of the peaberry is buttery. It's just the densest, like oiliest, and richest. I would say it's the richest. In fact, if you're making the peaberry, you need to measure it by weight, not by volume. Because if you use a scooper for your coffee and using the same scooper for the peaberry versus whatever other coffee that you bought from us, the peaberry, even the grounds are twice as dense. And so you're gonna end up using way too much grounds, and you're gonna be like, why is this coffee bitter? It's because you used by weight, you used twice as much. It's a really dense bean, so it's a big difference. Uh, so this medium peaberry tastes like a, let's say like a Nutella or a chocolate covered raisin. It's really rich, really sweet, milk chocolate sweetness, brown sugar, milk chocolate, kind of molasses. And so if you're making your coffee with an espresso machine, I would suggest you do it with, right now, the best one is medium peaberry. Medium extra fancy is also pretty amazing, and I prefer the extra fancy. The peaberry, I don't have any right now. So I would go with the medium peaberry for now as the highest grade of coffee. And the peaberry has this unique shape. It has this unique kind of pebble shape to it. It's also in high demand for chocolate covered raisins. Because when you make, I mean, not chocolate covered raisins, chocolate covered coffee. I didn't have any coffee today, guys. So you can see I'm staying focused on the coffee. I'm not going off and talking about aliens and the conspiracies against Ed. I'm not. I'm not worried about that when I don't drink coffee. So we're staying focused. It might change, all right. It tends to happen at the end of the show. They're watching. They're watching. You know, I've gotten so used to them watching. I kind of like it. I feel like a superstar. I'm like, you know, so I'm dancing. They're watching and I'm dancing. I like to be watched. Otherwise, who am I dancing to? I'm dancing to myself. I'm dancing for myself? No, I'm dancing for you. Green tea or peaberry? Coffee doesn't really mix well with tea. Have you ever tried that, Izzy? Doesn't really mix well with tea. I've tried that. I don't really like it. I do coffee first and then I do tea. So I like that. Have you tried Iron Sword coffee? You're a tea guy. I used to have a tea company. I'm thinking of bringing it back. But I only drink Kirkland Itoen green tea now. And that's all I drink. We have this really fancy tea shop in Oahu, but I only drink the Kirkland. I prefer it. It's so good. Kona Peaberry Medium Dark. It's about a 25-degree roasting difference. The medium coffee, have I filed for my bean seeds? What do you mean by that? Um, oh, selling the seeds. I don't sell seeds. It's just the only seeds I can get that's kind of where it's selling are cinnamon tree seeds. But it's just too much. I gotta stay focused. You know, they're pushing me to start the spaceship company, and I'm just like, I keep like saying like, okay, let's start it, and pay, let's get started, let's do this, and then everyone's excited. It's like, no. Yesterday I was like, no, I just don't have the time. This coffee stuff is just taking off, and I can't. I'm not gonna switch. Don't, what was that? Don't change horses midstream. So I'm just like, don't change horses midstream, Ed. So I'm putting the spaceships on the shelf. Where's the orange? Am I missing something here? Are there oranges somewhere? Confused. The ginger tea is really good. I'm hoping. See, I got it. Yeah, this is the state. You got it. But the shirt you saw on my you saw that shirt on my video, right? That's a shirt my wife got me. It's actually Kim Jong Un, and it says "Live, Love, Laugh." She's half Korean though, so she has it right. I'm gonna run this medium peaberry one more time. I gotta get it for 8, guys. I'm sorry. So carry a big army. Don't change horses midstream and carry a big army. I do have samples of that Smiley Vic. I'll run that up next. So I don't remember what I was saying. Why I said don't change horses midstream. Oh, no, I don't remember. Oh, why the seeds? The same thing, I'm still trying to, I'm focused. I'm trying to get the cinnamon leaf tea back up, trying to get the turmeric flowers, just one product at a time. If I start trying to do seeds and then everything, I'm not gonna be able to do anything. I just gotta do one thing at a time. I can't, it's hard for me to do anything more than one thing at a time. And then it's like once I get that one thing as my habit, then I could do the next thing. And I'm also like, I don't, if I start trying to do seeds and spaceships and now I'm not gonna have time for my daughter. It's like I want to have time during these formative years when she's just so small, and I want to spend all my time with her too. So I'm putting the seeds aside, I'm putting the spaceships aside. We're already doing this coffee, already taking too much time. And then we got turmeric flowers, cinnamon leaves. I don't have time for spaceships and seeds. Chocolate covered magnets. Jesus. Yeah, I have that so I have the chocolate covered magnet producing machine. I haven't even opened up the box because I gotta get one of those crowbars to open up the box, and I haven't been doing that. It's just too much. All right, let's do. You guys wanted some of that extra fancy white. And I'll do a Peaberry Dark after that. Even this, and just 20 different products. I don't even know what I'm selling anymore. It's like I started out. I only had 2 products. I had a Hawaiian and an estate coffee, and that was it. And I had a light and a dark roast. That was it. Now we got like 5 different roasts, 4 different grades. What are we even selling? I don't even know what we're selling anymore. I go through my anyway. So we have here's a sample of our extra fancy white coffee, and this one compared to the Hawaiian, Hawaiian beans. The difference in quality of the Hawaiian beans, the extra fancy, is density and defects. Defects is like a bean that doesn't have a perfect line down the middle. Anything from that to an ugly bean. I was showing you some ugly beans yesterday, to beans that have a chip in it or a crack or a little hole or whatever. And Hawaiian coffee can have up to 33% defects, whereas extra fancy Kona is um it was just too long, Vic. I hate like, this. Yeah, I don't have $4. Should be way above that, so I have to run that for my $8 price. See, I digressed, and now no one's paying attention. Now the coffee's selling for $4. We got problems here. But yeah, so the white coffee in the Hawaiian grade up to 33% defects. When a coffee has a defect, and it's going to produce toxins to kill mold, toxins to kill bacteria, toxins to deter pests, and all of those are going to be nerve toxins to us. And so you're going to get more jitters. It's marginally more. It's not like the jitters I get from drinking commercial coffees, but there's a marginally increase in the jitters and some negative kind of psychological effects. It's very mildly different, but there's more. It's more prominent. You can in the white coffee because the white coffee is still raw, and so the extra fancy has like no defects, and it's like extra fancy has to be above 19 screen coffee, 19/64 of an inch, which is almost twice as long as an Ethiopian bean, and then the extra fancy bean, which translates into four times. You have to cube it, so if it's twice as long, it's four times bigger in volume. So it's a bigger bean, it's a denser bean, and extra fancy has to have less than 1% defect. So one out of every 100 beans can have a little chip in it. Whereas in Hawaiian coffee, one out of three beans can be ugly. I'll give you one more chance to get a $1 start here, guys. Um, so yeah, I shaved the beard because I just had to. I do it periodically. I don't even, it's not like I grow a beard on purpose. I'm just lazy, exactly what McShane said. Same with my hair. The long hair, pure laziness. Like look at this. I didn't even cut the hair right. We have the highest standards in the world, definitely. Some of the highest standards in the world, no question. It's the labor standards are extremely high here. That's why the coffee is more expensive. You guys probably heard about like fair trade coffee. There is a point where Kroger's is trying to buy our coffee, like as a region, and they want everyone to get fair trade. And when fair trade came in with the paperwork, no one did the paperwork because they asked us questions that were one, they were absurd for America, and two, we didn't even know how to prove the things they were asking. Like they would ask things like, um, "Are you getting paid? Are your workers getting paid $1 per day?" This extra fancy was also roasted on. Was that a leading question? Are you trying to help me, Rumpy? Because I think you already know, but if you are trying to help me, that's great. Yeah, this extra fancy coffee was roasted. That's what it seemed like. This extra fancy coffee was also roasted on. When did I get it? This was roasted yesterday. It was still hot in the bag. So this was when I picked it up. No, no, that was 2 days ago. I'm sorry. It was roasted on Friday. Um, so almost all the coffee I have here. The only thing that wasn't roasted yesterday was the extra fancy dark. Let's do one more of these. So I should be running this for a little bit more expensive because the extra fancy is also as expensive as the peaberry. 20-pound batches. These are being done in 20-pound batches. This was roasted on Friday, so it was still warm yesterday. The coffee stays hot for a long time. It's kind of interesting like that too. There's a lot of chemical stuff going on as it settles, so it actually takes a long time to settle down, especially with the lighter roasts. And so this extra fancy white will be, mm, it'll give you a cleaner energy. It's really marginally different, but it is definitely, for me, someone who's really sensitive to it, it's noticeable. So the extra fancy white will just be noticeably mm, kind of a cleaner energy source, I guess. I don't know. So this is the extra fancy white. We already ran the Hawaiian white. Those are the only two grades of the white coffee I have. White coffee, if you weren't here before, is a coffee that's roasted so light that it's still raw. So it tastes almost like a sweet corn drink. There's there's this other alkaloid in coffee called trigonelline. Trigonelline. Was that before Trump or after Trump? Yeah, I could run the Hawaiian before. Thanks, Rumpy. So when you buy your coffee in the stores, if you go to a roastery, it's fresh. And usually every town has a cafe that roasts their own coffee or within a few minutes of you. So definitely worth going to your local roastery. We only have Hawaiian coffee, but it's worth trying other coffees, right? The the ones roasted in the stores, if it has a best by date of September 2026, that means it was roasted September 2025 or even February 2025. 18 months can be the shelf life of coffee. It's a little bit disturbing, but that's how old coffee. And I guess it's not going to hurt you, right? But it kind of does hurt you. That's why you guys are getting stomach aches and all sorts of issues. I'm going to run a full bag of the white and then a sample of the white Hawaiian. White coffee, I've been drinking it every day. I don't have any more Katora V. I guess you got the last of it. It's gone. I warned you guys this would happen, and it's gone. But the guy growing the Katura, he said he's already picking, but that's not a good sign. That means he's uh that means he's picking a lower farm. And so that in the next first batch of Katura, I don't know how great it'll be. Because the higher elevation coffees is where the good coffee is, and we don't start picking that until September. So he's definitely picking a lower elevation coffee right now. But we may have more of it. I don't know. We'll see. So that was our white Hawaiian, and I'll run a white Hawaiian sample if I have it. I gotta change my whole thing because I changed the white to a light. That this is so disorganized that I'm using the same listing for the light and the white. I just changed the name of it. It's like, I was trying to sell the spaceships for 6 years, and I was getting in to all the people that wanted to buy it, but they're the government. They're dragging their feet, and so I started on my social media. I started saying, you know what? I'm just gonna go on. I'm gonna make more money on TikTok Live selling coffee than I can make with you losers. And it was a joke. I was just joking around. I was like, let me just twerk it on TikTok Live, and because you guys are just, I'm gonna be in the poorhouse if I keep messing around with you guys. You're not paying us to do anything. And then, and then now I don't even have time to sell spaceships. So you should never joke. You should never joke about things. And then I got banned. But by then I had already moved on to whatnot. So let me see if I can find that sample pack. Here we go. Here's the sample, 2 ounce. Rumpy. We don't use any chemical pesticides. So nothing chemical gets sprayed onto the trees. Although some of the farmers, we do buy the beans from a co-op, so I do have to say some of the farmers do use herbicide on the base of the trees. But we're not using, nothing gets sprayed onto the trees. Nothing touches the berries. Where did Sandon go? I definitely had a dream about someone named Sandon and extra dark OG coffee running around trying to get enough of it. That was last night's dream. I have dreams about you guys, and every day I just dream about coffee now. I don't think about anything else. dream about putting coffee in the mailbox, getting coffee, picking coffee, running around different small towns in the US, selling coffee. That's all I think about now. Only using organic fertilizers. So very, very clean coffee. And that's the case with most of Hawaii. We're not even really allowed to use chemical pesticides on the trees. I think one of the big farms used it once and now they can't export their coffee. So it's like now their coffee's worthless. They have to like sell it to the local stores because they can't leave the state. Something like that. All right, that's our white Hawaiian there. Let me do a dark peaberry now. I never got a chance to do that dark peaberry. So going back to the dark peaberry is gonna be the richest dark roast you guys have had. Um, a very, very rich bodied, just a strong bodied coffee. And the flavor profile again, toasted caramel. It's going to be a little nutty. That's the thing about the difference between the peaberry and everything else. The Hawaiian coffee, you don't really taste any nuttiness. So let me do an 8-ounce bag of this. So remember, a 7-ounce bag is 56 bucks at a lot of stores. This is an 8-ounce bag. I'll let you guys bid on this. One 8-ounce bag of the dark peaberry with a $1 start here. And this is the rarest and most expensive of all our coffees. It takes only about 1% of our coffee comes out as a dark peaberry or as a peaberry. And these are Kona pea berries, so they're big pea berries. They're not just tiny. A lot of times pea berries are small, so that's why it's only 1%. It's also so it should say 100% Kona dark pea berry. It does meet the Kona standards, and that was the deal of the day. A lot of times I'll just run one bag of something that I know I'm not going to get nearly what I want for it because I just like getting deals. So it's safe to say. So we were actually certified. We were actually the oldest certified organic, but it's that we're part of a co-op. So white peaberry, interesting. Haven't tried that yet. I'm considering. I I feel like it would be a waste, Umar. But if you guys want to try it, we can try it. I do feel like, but it could be interesting. We could do a small 10-pound batch of it. So I'll ask the guy roasting in the 10-pound roaster to do a batch of it. If you guys want to see, actually, who was I don't know if Tut is still here, but if you are looking for if you want to visit the farm that roasts our coffee right now, Kona Lisa gives roasting tours, like Mona Lisa, Kona Lisa. Thanks, Rumpy. I appreciate your help. I do have some samples, yeah. So Kona Lisa is the guy currently roasting our coffee, one of the guys roasting the coffee, and he actually gives tours. So we're kind of like this, you know, it's very much we got 650 coffee farms in Kona. We're all just 6-acre farms, so it's kind of like this kind of cool co-op, even just disorganized co-op where we're just all doing a little bit of everything. There's no big companies out here, so you end up just self-organizing into groups of people doing stuff for each other. So if you do want to go visit our roaster, and he's a kind of cool guy too, so he's a really good guy, and he knows a lot about roasting, way more than me. He's been roasting for, I think, 35, 40 years now. He's only 50. He's been roasting since he was a kid, and then like his dad's been roasting, and his dad was a farmer out here. So go check him out. He'll give you a better tour than I can give you. All right, here's I'm not gonna do a $1 auction here. This is $8 start. Rumpy. You're cracking me up, Rumpy. Yeah, no gut aches. This coffee won't add digestion. It's smoother and sweeter than the coffee, any of the coffee you guys are buying in the stores. But biggest thing is I can personally guarantee that you will not get any acid reflux or indigestion. I could talk about how great the coffee tastes, but that's so subjective, right? But the objective thing that I can promise you, the thing you can pin me down on is if you get acid reflux or indigestion on from this coffee, I'll give you your money back. And I've sampled this coffee out to thousands of people, and the typical sequence is they come to the farm, they'll drink the light, drink the dark. I'm gonna make them 2 cups. They'll drink the light, drink the dark, and then at the light roast, they're like, "Wow, this is never had a coffee like this. It almost tastes like a tea. It's fruity." And then when they hit the dark roast, like, "Yeah, this is coffee. This is what I'm talking about, right?" And then they go out for a walk. Takes them about 10 minutes, 15 minutes walking around the farm. They come back because I can't give tours, but they can walk around if they want, right? That's how Chinese people follow the laws. Well, I cannot give you a tour, but if you go down the path that way, you will see all of the coffee trees. Anyway, they come back 15 minutes later and they're like, my stomach doesn't hurt. I'm gonna buy 4 bags of this. Like, that's just what happens almost every single time. So it really comes down to the fact that it's not gonna hurt your stomach. You're gonna feel good after you drink this coffee. Still, just started, Mac the Knife. I just started. Just started. I'm not still going. Was I even on last night? I went to the July 4th parade. The governor was there. It was a little bit weird this year. Yeah, they didn't have a band, so there's no music. And we're all like, what's going on here? Are they protesting something? Yeah, it was kind of strange. Definitely a little bit weird. But we had good fireworks. So, dark peaberry, richest richest cup of dark roast. Almost buttery. Probably the smoothest dark roast you're ever gonna try, just because of how Rumpy. We don't grind the beans though because we keep the coffee whole bean. You want to if you're paying this much for coffee, you want to keep it whole bean until you need it. Yeah, you shouldn't be getting ground coffee. A lot of times people grind up their bad beans because you can't see the quality of the beans once you grind them up. So people will take their off grade or their Hawaiian coffee and sell it as their Kona ground, especially once you've ground the coffee, you can't, all the subtle notes kind of just evaporate. And so you should always just grind what you need. The best way to store this coffee, throw it, if you're not going to drink it within a month, throw it into the freezer, let it sit, and you can actually store it for up to a year if you immediately throw it into the freezer. If you're going to drink it within a month, you should leave it at room temperature. The freezer does change the flavor just a tiny bit, brings out the oils, so it just changes the profile a little bit. And so the best way to store it is in the freezer. All right, what are we doing now? How about we run 1 3 pound bag of the dark Hawaiian, guys? This is always a risk because I know I'm probably gonna get like $60 for it, which is not good. The only other person that I know, other company, which is really just a person in Hawaii, selling this coffee is a Heiko. They're a cafe, which is they're a good cafe, really kind of hip place to hang out. And they got all good coffee from all different parts of Hawaii. But they have this Hawaiian coffee, which is almost identical to this, and they're selling it for 8 ounce for $35, $115 for 2 pounds. So you gotta really know what you're bidding on. So here we go. Ready, guys? 1 3 pound bag of the dark Hawaiian. The flavor profile is a toasted caramel, brown sugar. This coffee will not give you acid reflux. It will not give you indigestion. It will not hurt your stomach. 3 pounds should last you a few weeks if you're drinking it every day. You throw it in the freezer. It's a single bulk 3 pound bag whole bean coffee, all picked by hand. A pound of this coffee we're paying our pickers $10 to $15. That's why when you get it for $60, that doesn't include my fertilizer, my labor, the cost of the land. fuel. That's just to pick this coffee off the tree takes $30. So right now it doesn't include commission. So anyway, just you guys got to know, this coffee is legitimately more expensive. In another country like Honduras, people are getting paid 10 cents in a pound of coffee that they pick. Whereas here we're paying them $10 to $15. People are getting paid $30 an hour. So that's where the price of the coffee comes in. Um, but yeah, this dark roast is just roasted on Friday, $61. I shouldn't have told you what people are getting it for. That's not good. All right, that was the deal of the day. There's no more of that. No more of those guys. Every time I do that, I always hope. Don't hope. Hope is bad. All right, what are we doing next? All right. I also have some Mac nuts. So I got these Mac nuts just shelled I think last Tuesday or last Wednesday. And these are 100% Hawaiian Mac nuts. You know, Mac nuts these days, even if you come to Hawaii, if it doesn't say 100% Hawaiian Mac nuts, they're actually being grown in Kenya or Australia because Hawaiian Mac nuts are too expensive. They are more buttery and they're sweeter. So these are 100% Hawaiian Mac nuts. And these are just shelled. So if you guys have been waiting for Mac nuts, these are almost a pound. Mac nuts for 14 ounces these days are like $29. These are raw Mac nuts because they're so fresh. You can roast them yourself. You can replace pine nuts with them. You can make a pesto with them. They are raw, which a little bit different than nuts you guys might be finding on Amazon. Usually those are roasted. So raw Mac nuts, you got to put them in the fridge right away. If you don't, they only have a 1 month shelf life. If you do, 2 month shelf life. When you roast the Mac nuts and you can roast them yourself, throw them in a oven tray. I think roast at 300 for like 20 minutes or something like that, and that'll make them crunchy, and that will increase the shelf life to 3 to 6 months. That's why all the magnets you guys see in the stores are roasted. So those are the magnets there. We got the dark. We got some nibs. Cacao nibs are the raw chocolate seed broken into little bits. And this is Hawaiian cacao grown in Hawaii. There's no additives. It tastes like a chocolate nut, literally like a chocolate nut. It's crunchy. It's got the cacao butter and the cacao grumpy and the cacao liqueur still combined. Throw them in your ice cream, your yogurt, your granola. It's a health snack. Yeah, there's no additives, no milk, no sugar. It's just chocolate nut. You can eat these all day if you want. It tastes like dark chocolate with a little bit of nuttiness to it. Kind of crunchy. Um, and yeah, it's Hawaiian cacao. Ugh, I always do that $1 start. God damn it. No, no, god damn it. You shouldn't say that because then now I just wasted god damning something on a $1 start. God's only gonna damn exactly. He's only gonna damn something for you a few times. And you don't want to waste them. uh, all right, let's. That ended up getting higher than $8 though. See, God works in mysterious ways. All right, let's try it again. Oh, poppin' popcorn. 72. Thanks, poppin' popcorn. I appreciate it. Thanks for the raid. We're doing Hawaiian cacao nibs right now. This is cacao, raw cacao, grown in Hawaii. The second time didn't work. This is raw chocolate broken into little bits. Tastes like a dark chocolate nut. No additives. Hawaiian chocolate is less, a little bit fruitier. Your back, Sith, and poppin' popcorn. I tried his popcorn. It was good. I like the garlic popcorn. I started my career in popcorn, Doc Popcorn in Colorado. I developed those flavors. Right. We did in an apartment on 72nd Street in New York City. Poppin' popcorn. All right, so this is our cacao nibs. This is Hawaiian cacao. You can put this in your ice cream, your chocolate. It tastes like chocolate nuts, so it's not chocolate. It's not gonna melt, but it is a nutty dark chocolate. Really healthy for you. You can eat them raw, no additives, no sugars, nothing. It's just like eating nuts. So it's actually really good for you. And Hawaiian cacao is known as some of the best cacao in the world. It's also the most expensive. 2 ounces of Hawaiian chocolate is like $20 these days, which is I think it's ridiculous, but that's just what it goes for. It is exotic, fresh, much fresher than a lot of other chocolates you'd be picking up. It's not going through ports. It's not being shipped all over the world and stored. A lot of chocolate and coffee is tends to be very, very old. Ice cream, yes, vanilla ice cream with cacao nibs. Sounds like a great thing right now. And those are my cacao nibs. And then we're gonna go back to the first grade of coffee that we have, which is our Hawaiian dark. And so we have 3 grades of coffee today. We got Hawaiian, pea berry, and we got a little bit of extra fancy, and then we have 4 roasts: white, light, medium, and dark. If you guys have never had specialty, if you don't typically drink specialty coffees, if you typically just buy coffee from the store or go to the cafe to buy your coffee and you typically get a medium or a dark, you're probably going to want to get our dark roast. Our dark roast is more like a medium roast. The flavor profile of our dark is a toasted caramel dark chocolate. But the real unique part about our coffee is that we don't, you're not going to have to, well, you don't have to add cream or sugar. It's already sweet. And you're not going to, it's not going to give you any acid reflux or indigestion. So if you guys drink a lot of coffee and you view coffee as almost like smoking a cigarette, like, it gives you a buzz. It's a buzz you need when you need it, and you don't care. You don't care the cost. You don't care your stomach hurts. You don't care that it gives you bad breath. You don't care that it causes pain. You're just gonna drink your 1 cup so you can get going. This coffee is not like that. This coffee doesn't have any bitterness, doesn't have any sourness. It's all grown in Hawaii, and the reason why this coffee is unique is because of how we pick it and because of our unique climate. We have the active volcano here. We're actually in Hawaii. I'll show you this. Because of the mountain back there. We have an active volcano, and that volcano is constantly replenishing the soil with micronutrients. That makes the beans here grow larger than beans from anywhere else in the world. Larger bean usually means a richer cup of coffee. Doesn't mean a better cup of coffee, because coffee is still a fruit that grows on trees. And like any fruit, if you pick a fruit too early, it's going to be sour and bitter, no matter how large you got that fruit to grow. I think my phone's going to overheat at some point. Then the show's over. So that's the biggest thing is we pick the coffee by hand. We're paying our pickers 100 times more than you get paid in a place like Honduras. You should grind your coffee at the coarsest setting. That'll really bring out the sugar and the sweetness. If you grind your coffee too fine, no matter how good, no matter how much money you spent on it, it's going to be sour and bitter. Maybe not sour, but it's going to be bitter. And our coffee is also naturally low in acidity for a different reason than a lot of other low acid coffees. Most coffees are low in acidity because they get roasted extremely dark. As you roast coffee darker, the acid, quote unquote, goes away. It becomes bitterness. And so a lot of your low acid coffees tend to be very bitter. But our coffee is low in acidity because we wait 4 to 6 weeks longer for the coffee to ripen on the tree. And I had a video of that coffee. You saw those purples, right? Those are the ideal ones. And I have 'em I have another shot on the tree that's a little bit better. It's not easy to only pick the purples, but we try our best. And you saw there was one bean in there that was like a Fuji apple color, and that one is, you know, that one is the one that's gonna contribute any bitterness that you might have. But if you look at a lot of coffee that gets picked, a lot of coffee that gets picked in the world, like it's like all of it is Fuji apple colored. Am I out of the 12-ounce bags? I can't find the 12-ounce bags. All right, so and I was trying to run 12-ounce bag of the dark, but I can't find it. I do have a bag, 6-ounce bag of extra fancy dark. So let's just jump to our highest graded coffee. So if you guys are here for just the best coffee, the cream of the crop, we have this extra fancy bean, which is just the biggest beans. It's like literally 4 times bigger than coffee from other places. And I'll give you a chance to bid on it. This we charge $90 a pound typically. It's the top 5% of our coffee. Coffee doesn't grow this big anywhere else in the world, and the flavor profile similar to the Hawaiian that you guys just bid on, but it's buttery. It's like a little bit nutty because of just how much oils and how big the beans are. It retains the flavors like nothing else. So this extra fancy dark $1 start here. I'm only gonna do one of these at $1 start, and then I'm gonna run them for the not full price, but the price I need to get from, which is around $30. So there's a 6-ounce bag. This will make you 12 to 24 cups of coffee, and it'll be very, very sweet, toasted caramel, dark chocolate. I think that's kind of a simple flavor profile for us. Our flavor profile doesn't get that complex. We don't have florals, we don't have tangerine or anything like that. It's just dark chocolate, toasted caramel. Very simple, very sweet, almost like a dessert wine. You know how dessert wines, they don't taste like wine. They don't have any of the tannins. They don't have any of the sulfites. They're not sour. Almost just tastes like a grape juice. That's what our extra fancy is. Just tastes like this chocolate pastry, and it doesn't have the bitterness that and burnness that often overpowers your notes on the flavor profile. A lot of times you get a fancy bag of coffee and it tells you notes of chocolate, notes of caramel, brown sugar, flower petals, and when you drink it, it's just bitter and burned. And you don't maybe you taste some chocolate in there, maybe. This has zero sourness, zero bitterness. So when you drink it, you really it's all flavor profile. And that's another, you know, function of when you pick the coffee so ripe, all of the off notes are gone. And so that's our extra fancy dark there. Let me see if I can find my Hawaiian dark. I'm so disorganized. Uh, looks like, I do have this one. I do have my estate darks. How about we do some of those? Like a multi-sample pack. I was thinking of getting that together. I could do a sample pack of the peaberry. I do have all three. No, see, I don't think I have any of the light. That's the problem. I just don't have. I can only do so many roasts every week, and so I don't have everything that I need. 2 ounces of the white I do have, so I'll run that in a little bit. I'll run that after this, after I run this a few times. So this is our dark estate. The estate coffee combines the um, top four grades of coffee and has less than 1% defects. So it's very, very clean coffee. It has your prime number one fancy, extra fancy. It's the denser beans. So it's very close to that extra fancy that I was running before, which is the highest grade. And about 25% of the beans include the highest graded coffee, which is the extra fancy. So this one is, when you most of the time when you go to the store and you buy Kona coffee or you buy it off there, you're getting the estate grade. That's sort of the base. level of coffee. The Hawaiian coffee has more defects in it, so we have to label it differently. We have to label it Hawaiian coffee. We're not even allowed to call it Kona coffee. And we have one grade below that called off grade, which we can't even tell you comes from Hawaii. But this is our dark estate. I don't have any more Katora Joy. It's gone probably till September, maybe October. So you have to wait a few months for that. The Katora, there's only one farmer growing it in the entire all of Kona. And he's been working with me. I've been buying all of his green beans, but we ran out of that. You were looking for the white. So this is the extra fancy white first. And if you want the Hawaiian white, I could run those a little bit cheaper. But the extra fancy white has less than 1% defect. So it's the cleanest buzz you're going to get. White coffee, we have to send them separately, Deb. They only give us, it's just the labeling laws. They want Kona coffee to have these extremely high standards. So if it doesn't fully meet the standards, hey Adamus, how you doing? If it doesn't fully meet those standards, then we can't call it Kona coffee. They only want they only want us to sell the best coffee that we have. So, or they want Kona coffee to be just known for extremely high standards. I think only 30 or 40% of our coffee qualifies as Kona coffee. So there's a lot of coffee that we can't call Kona coffee, and most farmers don't even want to sell coffee because they want to sell you a bag of coffee for 60 to 90 bucks. They don't want to be selling you coffee for $25. You know, they're like, we don't want to be associated with coffee like that. Here's our extra fancy. Let me run that for 8. I haven't had any coffee today, guys. I was way more focused. Do you guys notice that? We didn't start and veer off and make you guys uncomfortable about weird things. I didn't become and start becoming racist. I just stayed focused. No coffee for Ed. Coffee's bad for me, I think. All right. I didn't complain about my wife at all, you know. I think it's the coffee. Everyone says that, but half the people leave the room when I start talking. All right, so let me do the white Hawaiian for you. I'll do that for 32. So if you want a larger 8-ounce bag of the extra fancy white, $8 or something. Today's boring then, right? I didn't talk about anything. I do feel pressure, you know, I feel pressure to say crazy things because you guys tell me to just leave it on as a podcast. I'm like, oh, I'm talking about this coffee over and over again. These people are gonna get bored. I need to say some crazy stuff. So it's like now every day I'm trying to top myself, and that's not good. You know, now I'm trying to be crazy on purpose. I'm trying to be crazier and crazier. And at some point, you just go off the deep end, and so I gotta reel it back. Gotta reel it in, lower our expectations for the level of crazy. All right, here we go. Let's do a $1 start on the white Hawaiian. So, coffee has this other compound called trigonylene in it, and trigonylene, when you roast it 250 degrees, becomes methylamine, and by the time you get it to a dark roast, it evaporates. The dark roast has almost no methylamine in it, but your white coffee still has a lot of it, so you're gonna get a buzz from it. But you know you want it. I was trying to figure out what that meant. I get it now. And so white coffee. really strong. 50% more caffeine, but like maybe 1,000% more trigonylline. And trigonylline has all sorts of health benefits. So many that I can't talk about it. You gotta look it up yourself. Because if I start talking about it, the FDA is gonna come and be like, "You can't sell this coffee anymore. You're trying to sell it as a medicine. You're not allowed." So you gotta look it up yourself. But it is strong, and you can feel it like right away. So you're gonna have to try it yourself. Try to your own risk. I will say though, it does have an overstimulatory effect. So when I started drinking this white coffee 3 months ago, um, I I got my TikTok e-commerce privileges were suspended permanently. What does that even mean? Suspended permanently. Yeah, let me spell that out for you. I think it's because I started talking all this stuff. Just started going rambling about Jesus, and TikTok doesn't like that. Sometimes I just do that because I know communists don't like that. I just do things that people don't like on purpose. Um, Cacao nibs, you can. I've never brewed the cacao nibs. I would just eat those raw. The, the best brewing chocolate is cacao tea. Half and half, really good, actually. So, one of my favorite ways to make the white coffee is I grind the white coffee into a powder, put it at the bottom of my coffee maker, and then I take a layer of medium roast ground coarse and lay it over the white coffee, and then that comes out really nice. Yes, these are 2 ounce white Hawaiians here. And yeah, white coffee has some strong health benefits. If you guys work out, studies have shown trigonylline increases your grip strength. And white coffee will store a little bit better if you grind it. I always tell people don't grind your coffee and store it in a jar, but the white coffee will retain most of its flavor and its richness, even if you keep it in a jar. So a little bit different when it's raw. This is only roasted to 350 degrees, which is a full 100 degrees lighter than your typical um, dark roast. So that's our white coffee there. All right. I'll run $1 start on the extra fancy white. You guys can bid on that once. But the extra fancy we sell for 90 bucks a pound. In practice, we're probably selling for about 70 bucks a pound after coupons and all that stuff. So, but still, it's more than the 48, 50 bucks a pound you might be paying for it here. So, the extra fancy is going to be a little bit cleaner of a buzz, just a little bit smoother, but pretty close. Even the Hawaiian to the extra fancy, the beans. Hawaiian coffee actually has some really big beans in it too, but those are the less dense ones. They're not the perfect ones. Sometimes the biggest beans go into the Hawaiian coffee because at some point the beans are so big that they're considered off grade. Kind of ironic. So the Hawaiian coffee, you get this wide range of beans, whereas the extra fancy it's like all 19 screen beans, and those roast a little bit more evenly. I used to get to the point where I'd fall over. I couldn't even walk around straight. So it made me feel drunk, legitimately drunk. And I also lost my LinkedIn after drinking the white coffee. I lost my wife. I lost my kids. No, I lost my LinkedIn. I lost my TikTok. um, which was a big hit. Losing my TikTok was kind of a big deal. So you guys got to be careful. I, you guys, what else did I lose from the white coffee? Oh, and I relapsed. I quit weed for a year or 2 years, and then I went back and I picked up a vape and I just sucked on that thing for like 2 weeks. So if you guys are fighting addiction, don't drink the white coffee. But other than that, it's a blast. It's a party. It is. It's a party. You gotta be careful. You lost weight. That's good. I lost weight too, honestly, which is not good for me. I need to, I stopped eating. Yeah, it's strong. Some people losing weight is good. I lost weight too, and that's not good. Yeah, it kind of feels a little bit like I feel like if you don't want to drink, but you still want to go to the bar, drink a big cup of white coffee, and you're gonna be just chatting with people. It might ruin your life, but YOLO. One more of these. Strong stuff. Definitely be careful. Be cautious. Don't drink and drive. Music. Music is great on white coffee. It's legitimately, something. All right, guys. That's it. That's the white coffee there. Now, you guys want to talk about the pea berry? So we have pea berry is the densest bean that we have. It's gonna be almost like buttery. It's the smoothest coffee that we have by far. It's just so smooth. And I think it's because how dense it is, and it's nuttier and fruitier than all of our other coffees. Flavor profile is similar. The light roast, the dark roast first is like a chocolate covered, I'm sorry, dark chocolate caramel, toasted caramel, but also has a touch of nuttiness to it on this pea berry and very rich, very smooth compared to your Hawaiian grade. I'll do $1 start. So Kona pea berry takes, like you guys saw me on the white the other day. I was in the chair and I fell over. I tried to get up and I fell over. The pea berry happens at the tips of the trees. About one every out of every 100 beans qualifies for Kona pea berry. So this is 100% Kona. Satisfies all the requirements for the Kona coffee, particularly the bean size, which is the impressive part. Because pea berry is a smaller bean to begin with. I think that was my last dark pea berry. I must have another sampler over here. Hold on. I may not though. Yeah, I don't. That was my last dark pea berry and sampler, so no more of those. How about I'm gonna run one 8-ounce bag of the dark pea berry, guys. And this 8-ounce bag should be like 50 bucks retail, but here we go. Another mistake. I make lots of mistakes here. Skeletha. It's alright. I'm used to being hurt. That's what I'm here for. All the people I ever body slammed was by accident. So this dark pea berry, you come to ABC stores, they're charging you 56 bucks for 7 ounces. And they're the only ones that consistently have it. Actually hard to get pea berry. I've been able to get it pretty consistently the last 2 months, but you never know. It may not last. So a lot of times I wait 8 months, 9 months, 12 months to get pea berry. Did you try the white coffee vinyl day? Positive benefits for you. And 8 ounce. This is so when you're making your pea berry, remember by or measure it by weight rather than volume because the pea berry beans are twice as dense. Next item up is a medium pea berry. This one will actually be quite a bit fruitier than your medium Hawaiian. I even have I think this is the only medium we have, and I would suggest if you guys are looking for like just a very specialty, rich, velvety with a very nice crema in terms of a medium espresso. I would if you're looking for an espresso bean, that is like a gourmet specialty, like the best espresso bean, the richest, sweetest, fruitiest espresso you could find. That doesn't have that extreme sourness of lighter roast when you make espresso. This medium pea berry would do really well. Yeah. You're gonna get just this creamy, kind of smooth, buttery cup of espresso when you do a medium pea berry. It's just the pea berry is the oiliest. It's just so dense comparatively, and the espresso will really extract those oils into your cup. So if you are looking for a really good espresso bean, I would say this one, and the dark pea berry maybe, depending if you like your espresso dark. And the key thing is, espresso can be very bitter, very sour, right? But our pea berry or our beans in an espresso machine will be way less sour and way less bitter than anything you guys are used to. So it's a really nice kind of dessert espresso. Espresso tends to be very bitter, especially the darker roast, just so bitter. But this coffee is not bitter, and it does really well in an espresso machine. Fruity, the medium is fruity, nutty, a little bit of like touch of peanuts in there, almost like a Nutella. Whereas our medium Hawaiian doesn't have that. The pea berry does because the pea berry is a denser bean. The outside roasts more, the inside roasts less. So you get like a wider band of flavor. If your regular coffee is like this, and you guys ever, I keep going like this. You guys ever seen the news? They always go like this. That's a symbol. That means they're in on the measurement. That they go around and they measure you, and then they make fun of you. That's one of the ways. So if you see people in the news going like this, that means they're in on it. But what they're in on is just stupid. But they're in on it. It's Hedwig and the Angry Inch. You guys ever see that movie? See, here I go. We got into the Hedwig and the Angry Inch. You ever see the people in the news going like this? It's it's what's it called? It's an illusion. It's the Angry Inch. You guys don't know about the Angry Inch? You guys don't know about the Angry Inch conspiracy? All right, well, where have you guys been living? Under a rock? The ones who know about it, though, they don't talk about it. So some of you guys may know. The ones who know don't talk. The ones who talk don't know. Except for me. I know. And I talk. All right, what are we doing next here? Then we got the dark pea berry. Did I already do the dark pea berry? I did. Light pea berry. Now we got the light pea berry. Light pea berry bordering on white. It's going to be almost as strong as or not almost, but way stronger than your Hawaiian light. The center of that pea berry bean hasn't really been roasted, so it kind of borders on the white, almost like a white pea berry, not quite there. So I will do. Umar requested a white pea berry. We will do that for him. We'll do a small 10-pound. Pea berry is not the biggest bean. It's the densest bean. Yeah, pea berry is when one of the beans takes over the entire fruit. Instead of having two beans, you get one bean that kind of takes over, and the other bean just becomes this shriveled little slice, almost like in a marriage. And so it's just one of the beans just has all the nutrition, and the other one just kind of dies away, just falls off. But still there, just this little slice. But it's still there. It's sticking with you. It didn't. It's still in there. It's not even an ex-girlfriend. It's a husband. It's just hanging on. All the nutrition goes to the pea berry though, and the other one's just this little slice. It's like this. It's like there's a pea berry, and the other one's just kind of like this. So, so the pea berry has a huge density to it, and when you go to roast that, you really taste it in the smoothness of the bean. So those are our highest grade coffees. You know, they barely sold anything today. Seemed like I was on for a long time, but still barely sold anything. Maybe I need the white coffee. You just gotta, white coffee gets you in the groove. It's like, all right, let's do some of these Kona Estates, the Estate coffee again. This is the dark Kona here. Guess I don't have as many items either. Kona Estate 8-ounce bag here of the dark estate. Just great for pour overs, toasted caramel. Coffee is guaranteed not to give you any acid reflux or indigestion. This is all Kona coffee or Hawaiian coffee grown in Kona. Subtle difference just in terms of bean quality. Um, I'm going to just run each of my items through. So we'll start one more of these dark Hawaiians. Dark Hawaiian sampler here, $1 start. I'm going to start wrapping up my show. It's almost my time to take my daughter, so I'm just going to run a bunch of $1 starts on each of my items. This is a 2-ounce Hawaiian sampler, 4 8-ounce cups, 4 double shots of espresso. Tastes like a toasted caramel, just roasted on Saturday. So freshest coffee that we have, just roasted on, I'm sorry, Friday evening. So when it gets to you, probably these will go out Monday or Tuesday, maybe more like Tuesday. Pack them up on Monday, send them out on Tuesday. Um, this is just fresh, right? When you receive it, it's like just rested, ready to drink. You do have to rest your coffee for a week. Dark roast for the light roast, you can rest it for up to a month, and it continues to get sweeter as it off gases. The bitterness in the coffee goes down. One time I had someone email me and they were like, I had your coffee last time, it was so sweet and smooth. This time it was bitter. I told them just put it on your shelf for a week, and then a week later, like, oh yeah, it's not bitter. So if the coffee tastes more bitter than you're used to, either you're grinding it too fine, which is one possibility, or it was too fresh and you gotta let it sit for uh, another week or so. So I just got like 2 or 3 more of these, so I'll just run them. And that clock was a little bit long. I apologize for that. Dark coffee, just roasted on Friday. Doesn't get any fresher than this. Are you the same King Tut? Did you just change your photo, King Tut? Or was it a different, are you a different King Tut? King Cut. You're King Cut. That's different. Okay, you're different. King Cut. You're probably into working out. The white coffee, trigonylene. Almost feels like taking creatine. It increases your grip strength. It um, it's an NAD precursor on the cellular level, so it actually improves how much you can weigh, how much you can lift. So if you guys are like gym freaks, the white coffee actually will improve your workout quite a bit, almost like taking creatine. But creatine can give you cancer, right? You guys maybe know that, but white coffee does not. It actually has all this other nutritional support. So if you guys work out, white coffee is definitely something to check. All right, I think this is my last dark. Maybe I'll just run a $1 on this. And I'm gotta wrap up this show because it's almost I got 2 more of these, so I'll just do 2 $1 starts here. 15 seconds sudden death. Here we go. Last 2 Hawaiian darks, and then we'll be done with this item, and then we'll move on to the next one. So as you roast coffee darker, becomes more flavorful, but loses some of the antioxidants. It loses a lot of the bioactivity. It loses a lot of the alkaloids, specifically trigonylene, which gets you high. So you'll notice the white coffee gets like just 10 times stronger than dark roast. A lot of people are like, I didn't expect coffee to have this effect. So definitely worth trying. Cacao nibs. Let's do some cacao nibs. 20 seconds sudden death. 4-ounce cacao nibs. This is 100% Hawaiian chocolate. Tastes like a dark chocolate nut. Eat it right out of the bag. Throw it into your yogurts, your ice cream, and it just tastes like you're eating a dark chocolate nut. It's so fresh you can taste the liqueur on it. I think this might be the part. Let's do one more, but these should be like eight to $10. Cacao Hawaiian, cacao nibs from anywhere is $8 for 4 ounces, but these are from Hawaii, where the chocolate is 4 times more expensive. So this is the cheapest way to get your Hawaiian chocolate if you're obsessed with Hawaiian chocolate. Did you win a giveaway, Mary Jane? That's good. All right, that's my Hawaiian cacao. So let's get rid of that. All right, we're gonna just run through my list and then I'm gonna go. All right, so we got a medium, another medium pea berry. Again, the pea berry is the rarest of all our coffees. That the most expensive. It takes 100 pounds of regular coffee to produce 1 pound of pea berry. In the stores, it sells for 56 bucks for 7 ounces. It's richer, more buttery. It's all hand picked. Thanks, Cleve. I appreciate you guys keeping me on track. It is all hand picked coffee. We pick it overripe. We're only picking the coffee that's deep red, purple, or brown. So we're waiting 4 to 6 weeks longer. Good morning, Jules. I'm actually wrapping up. It takes we wait for the coffee to ripen on a tree for 4 to 6 weeks longer than it ripens in other regions. So our coffee is far sweeter, just like letting a banana turn brown or an apple turn brown. The amount of sugar in the coffee is just, I think the Brix level goes from 15 to 25. So this peaberry medium, no machines, yep. This peaberry medium is uh, fruitier, nuttier, and sweeter. Chocolate covered raisin, I would say, is the flavor profile. And great, probably the best one for espresso. So if you're making an espresso and you're wondering which one should I get, I would get this one. Really good stuff. Jules, awesome. Which one's your favorite so far? And there's some of you from like the 26th. I think there's like 10 of you guys where the coffee didn't get scanned. So I'm going to reprint those on Monday. Those will be coming. I'm not sure if Jules is one of them, but if you guys are still waiting on something and it's like overdue, I'm actually having to reprint about 15 items and I'm going to resend them. So I don't know what happened to them. I get them out. All right, guys, my next item, and I'm just wrapping up, just a little bit left. You got it, great. This is another dark sampler. I thought I was out of dark, but here it is again. The sweetest coffee is the dark. I would say the dark Hawaiian ends up being the sweetest. Coffee gets sweeter as you roast it darker. And because the Hawaiian coffee is the least dense, it gets roasted the most. So, ironically, the lowest grade of our coffee ends up being the sweetest. But it's the least complex. It just ends up being sweet, just sugar, right? It just becomes this toasted caramel chocolate. Whereas our extra fancy dark is like toasted caramel, nutty chocolate with a touch of fruitiness. But this one's just like a sweet sugar. And so some people even like the Hawaiian coffee better. I've done taste tests and blind taste tests, and um, I've seen people prefer the Hawaiian coffee over the extra fancy. So it's not, more expensive doesn't always mean you're gonna like it better. These 2 ounce samplers come in their own individuals, paper, foil lined paper bags. Makes 4 8-ounce cups of coffee or 4 double shots of espresso. You can throw them in the freezer and just take them out as you need them. You're gonna make, usually there's a little bit more than 2 ounces. Usually it's 2.5, but I can promise you 2 ounces. These are all hand filled right now. So um, it'll make you approximately, according to the SCA, Specialty Coffee Association, they're like the authority on specialty coffees. They tell you want to use a 1 to 16 ratio, but usually in practice, one of these bags can make you a full 64-ounce pot of coffee. But 32 ounces is the official what you should be getting out of it. And these are 2 ounce dark samplers, toasted caramel, very very sweet coffee, and guaranteed not to give you any acid reflux or indigestion. So if all this coffee, if you guys get, typically you drink coffee and your stomach starts to hurt. I'm on the Big Island of Hawaii. Typically, you drink this coffee and your stomach issues from drinking coffee. I can say this coffee will make do what's in the coffee. It's not hearing anything, it's just because you're no longer adding. Says that you're getting 60 ounces of coffee. That sounds about right. Yeah. So you're no longer adding um, mold and tannins into your stomach. So that's why you're not going to get that same, stomach issue that you get from your coffee. All right, that's it for my dark. We got a white Hawaiian sampler here. So the white coffee is the strongest one, right? It gives you this huge buzz, almost like you're drunk. It's a lot of people are surprised that coffee can even do this to them. I sure was. Although I did my research, so I produced this specifically to get you buzzed and kind of drunk. And so, but it's not, it's not, it's still just coffee. It's like you drank 10 cups of coffee. So really strong stuff. I'm gonna run one of these, but when these don't hit four, I'm probably gonna move on to the next item. It's roasted 350 degrees. It's got trigonylene in it, which is methylated niacin, NAD precursor that boosts your NAD levels better than any supplement on the market. Increases your grip strength and has all sorts of benefits that you got to look up yourself. Trigonylene, and that's my white coffee there. I got extra fancy white, says the white coffee in the extra fancy grade. Difference is just bean quality. This is the $190 a pound coffee in the white roast. Oh, I hear somebody waking up. Hi, Willow. It is. Is mommy up or is it just you? I see. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna wrap this up and then we'll hang out. Do you want some breakfast? All right, guys, I gotta go. All right, $1 start on our extra fancy. Put it all away. I had to. It is yours. Thanks, guys. Today was a show I can be proud of. I didn't complain. No conspiracy theories. We just stuck to the coffee. Here, let me do a poll before I leave. No? Why did you do that? You did it wrong. Daddy? Hmm? Did you forget to put everything in the right way? I think I did. Well, let me help you fix it when I get done. All right. I'm gonna do one last poll. Aaron got an 8-ounce bag of Estate for $9, guys. You guys most of you guys liked it when I was focused. That's good. Coffee good today. Today was boring. All right, let's do a bag of Hawaiian Light, guys. Pay attention. You can get coffee for $8 right now. No, don't make this go for $8. Here's a 12-ounce bag of the light Hawaiian. And did you forgot to cap this? No, it's capped. I already capped it. It looks like it's capped. I capped it. You capped it. And you opened it. All right, 12-ounce bag Hawaiian Light. I'm sorry, I must have messed up. $35 bag here. This is the light Hawaiian, 12 ounces. Makes a nutty chocolate covered raisin oatmeal cookie flavor. 4 people thought it was boring. 26 people prefer sticking to the coffee. All right. One bag of extra fancy, guys. Here's a bag of extra fancy at a $1 start. Here's my last few auctions for the day. I think this might be my last one. I can sense it. Everyone's getting up. This was no coffee today. I didn't drink any coffee today. This is the extra fancy, biggest beans, smoothest beans, sweetest beans. Less than 0.01% of coffee is ground in Kona, and this is the top 5% of our beans. All right, guys, I'm gonna send you guys off on a raid. Thank you, guys. We'll try to have more shows where I don't drink any coffee. Hmm.
Daddy,
Yes,
doctor ball.
your doctor bull? Why don't I help you look for it? Who should I raid? I don't know who to raid, guys. I don't know who to raid. Just have them pick for me. See you later, guys.